Hello. Morning. There's a cat here. So I'm making some weird arm gestures throughout this. I'm petting him. So he likes to lay by the computer. Oh gosh, I got food. Okay. Well, welcome. This is the Herbal Book Club, episode 13. I got my counting right. And we are continuing our read through of Healing Wise by Susun Weed. And I also asked last time for some suggestions of another herbal book that we could sort of intersperse between Susun Weed. So, if you guys have any ideas, please leave them in the comments or in the Facebook group. That would be great because I'm looking for suggestions. So, yeah. I've got an idea of maybe a good book. It's a gardening book, but she's an herbalist, so it would be topical. And also, since it's sort of July, things are still growing. It's a growing time, so that might be really appropriate. But I really have to look at it more. Where is the book? Oh, here it is. So this is the book. I move like a gardener. So I just look at it more and see if it would be really good. Give us enough to sort of talk about and everything. And I get this book on a Kickstarter. So yeah. That's the book I was thinking of. But okay, so I haven't read this week's section. I'll admit that. I kept meaning to, but it's been super, super busy. So, and we didn't meet last week. I hope if you're in the United States, you had a good holiday, some good days off, time to hang out with family and stuff like that. I saw a movie, a friend of mine, called The Dead Don't Die, which is a whole lot of stupid and a whole lot of fun. And it's wacky. So, it's got Bill Murray in it, and it's directed by Jim Jarmusch. So that might. But anyway, so if you like zombie movies, if you like wacky, go check it out. And then we just hung out, took a walk, hung out, things. So yes, kitty, you hear him? He loves it. He knows laying up here and getting picked. They're not lap cats. Both my cats. So, all right, enough. Ramble. No one is here yet for the live. But if you're watching this in the replay, don't want to ramble too much. I am going to be reading page 32 there are no cures in the wise woman tradition. And then I guess if I have time, I'm going to jump over to 33. There are no rules in the wise woman tradition. I don't think we're going to have time for the next part, which there are no healers in the wise woman tradition. So maybe we'll. And we might hold off on our discussion of nettles until next week, because I really don't want to start that with no one here. So if people show up, then I'll start that discussion. So we'll just do some reading and see what we think. Because like I said, I haven't read this bit at all. Yeah. And there wasn't any discussion questions because I didn't read it, because I didn't do my work. I fell down on my job. So anyway, I hope everyone is having a good day today as well. And so you must be outside enjoying the sunshine or working, but wherever you are, I hope you're having a good day. So, me and Forrest miss you. But that's okay. We'll see everyone next week. All right. So, yeah. And I guess I didn't post on the Facebook group. Maybe that was an issue. I don't know. Anyway. Boy, my eyes are like, I'm really tired. My eyes are like, I should be awake. There are no cures in the wise woman tradition. In the scientific tradition, curing consists of getting rid of the problem as quickly as possible. In the heroic tradition, and both of these traditions we're going to get to at some point. In the heroic tradition, curing consists of allocating guilt, asking for forgiveness, accepting punishment, and learning the rules so it never happens again. In the wise woman tradition, there are no cures. I'm sorry, Hor. Maybe this way is better? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, buddy. We need to share the space. Yeah. Problems are not cured. They are not enemies to be eliminated. In the wise woman tradition, we do not love our enemies. We make them our allies. In the wise woman tradition, we eliminate our enemies. We eliminate them by accepting all their gifts, by feasting on the nourishment they offer. In the wise woman tradition, we gain cooperation from our enemies by respecting their unique reality. They become our supporters. In the wise woman tradition, we honor and cherish our enemies as benefactors for health, wholeness, holiness. For our enemies force us, as few others will, to be strong and wise. So, I have a question for everyone. I think I have a question. See if I can phrase it. So that's an interesting concept. And you can, so she's looking at it from a health perspective, but also like you can, I've often taken this perspective in my life where like sometimes where like you can learn from bad situations. So instead of trying to like just, I don't know, immediately try to like kill your enemy. So you can learn from the situation what you can take away and do better next time. So yeah, if anyone has any situations, so yeah, what do you guys think about that? that concept of learning from your enemies, or learning from your illnesses. And it's not an idea that I think a lot of us in the West are very familiar with, because we come from the scientific and the heroic tradition a lot of times, that mindset of, trying to cure us. There's something wrong with something bad, or like, and I really feel like the idea that, like trying to follow the rules so this thing doesn't happen again is really unrealistic in life. I mean, especially since like a lot of illnesses we don't have control over happening at all. Like that's it. There's no rules. Like that's the thing. There's no rules. Like anyway, okay. So not a very open-ended question, but yeah. What do you think? Do you like? Do you don't like? Why do you think maybe it might be beneficial to, do you feel like it's better to think? Do you agree more with like the scientific tradition idea, which is, getting rid of the problems as possible, or do you agree with the heroic tradition, which is, and of course she's painting this the heroic tradition, which is that there are rules you can follow, so things won't maybe happen, or you can prevent things, and or the wise woman tradition, where we we're trying to learn from this different approach, learn from this issue or problem or health concern that is happening to us, trying to look at it from a different angle. And yeah, so which one do you agree with? Even though we haven't gone over the other two traditions, and I think there's probably positives in each way of looking at things, and there are uses for each tradition, even though she doesn't go into them. I can't. I'm sure I could think of something, but now I'm live. Here, of course, her tradition first is the wise woman tradition. So that's what we're talking about right now. And but I'm hoping that when she talks about the other traditions, she'll shed some more light on what each one is about. What I mean, actually, is their uses in the practice, like the scientific tradition in the practice, the application, the practical application of health, and also the heroic tradition. There are some really valuable things that modalities have come from each one. Yeah. Okay. Definitely going to be a rambly one, guys. Warning. I guess that's a good thing no one's here. So, what do you guys think about all that? Let me know if you'd like. If you agree with her, if you're like, yeah, this is awesome. I want to, or you're like, man, this pain, no way can I think of it as a gift. Like, it is awful. I want to get rid of it. Blah. Yeah. Okay. That's a little clearer. Okay. So, problems are not the result of wrongdoing in the wise tradition. Problems are allies, powerful presences who come to help us to wholeness. Sometimes these allies leave when we incorporate them into our compassionate heart. Sometimes, recognizing them as needed helpers, we consent to their continued presence. Yeah. Wow, so that's interesting. That's a lot in one sentence. Sometimes these allies leave when we incorporate them into our compassionate heart. Sometimes these allies, sometimes recognizing them as need helpers, we consent to their continual presence. So it does sound like she's saying, or possibly a reason why sometimes we get better and sometimes these things become chronic. I mean, I've had chronic illnesses, and one of them has gotten much better over the years. And there's I can't figure out a reason for it at all. It's just slowly gotten better. At first, it was very excruciating. And I really couldn't function. And then it's slowly gotten better. It is up and down. Sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better. But it's taken like 10 years or more for it to sort of get to a level where I can function like a human. And that's on top of my other one, which is IBS, which y'all know about. So just a complex soup of illnesses, of autoimmune and inflammation, all kinds of stuff that I deal with. So I don't know if these words are comforting. I mean, when I was really hurting, I probably would have thrown this book across the floor and been like, yeah, Ale, whatever. Get it gone. But I feel like when you're faced with that kind of pain and there's really nothing anyone can do, after you've thrown the book across the room, you're probably going to pick it up again and be like, I think it's going to be ultimately very helpful to look at something like this as an ally instead of like an enemy. And as a reason why you're still sick is that you still need help with an issue that you're still learning. So a lot in that one sentence. That's what Susun Weed really packs it in. She just does. So, sometimes substances, insulin, antibiotics, or techniques, surgery, strongly associated with the scientific traditions are used by the wise woman. So this is what I was talking about earlier. She understands these substances and techniques are nourishment, not cures. It is not the thing done that indicates the tradition, but the thought behind the action. So when I was thinking about the practical applications of the scientific tradition, I was talking about surgery, and of the work tradition, well, she didn't mention that, but she didn't mention like antibiotics, drugs, and stuff like that. Getting cured is not the goal in the wise woman tradition. Instead, we are healed, whole, made holy, and nourished in our uniqueness. Outwitting death as long as possible is not the goal in the wise woman tradition. Balance in the heart with the inexhaustible good goddess who churns the waters of birthing and dying. We lose our anxiety to be cured or to cure. So you switch your focus. It's almost like you just switch your focus. You're like, because with a lot of like chronic illnesses, it can take years to heal, or if ever. And so, like, you know, if you hello person who have joined us, welcome. I'm on a very long ramble, but we are on page 32. There are no cures in the wise woman tradition in the Thing Wise by Susun Weed. Great. So, yeah. So when you're, there's a question. When you guys have been sick, either with a short-term illness or a longer-term illness, what were some ways that helped you think about the process that you were going through? You know, either like distraction, take your mind off it, or like maybe like when you got through some of the first emotions of anger or fear, like what helped you and I'm losing a word. Not synthesize, process what you were going through, and gave you a way to not move on or move past, but to understand, to put it in a context. And it's sort of the part where if you're really sick, you decide, I'm going to try to live through this pain, and that's, how do I do that? And I think that is the first step, and then you try to figure out, how can I think about what's going on with me in a way that allows me to move on, move forward. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go on. Nourishing our wholeness compassionately, embracing our multiple and contradictory self-images, unconditionally loving our own neediness, we gradually come to know that the wise one way to health, holiness is not by curing our problems, avoiding pain, and living as long as humanly possible, but by accepting problems, pain, disease, and death as allies. And by accepting the gifts of our allies, we mistakenly see our disease and injuries as other than ourselves. We say our arthritis is bad, not ourselves. My stomach / arm / head hurts, not me. We fail to see that we have already embodied our problems. So when I was first dealing with like my chronic pain, I was worried that it would become at some point normal, regular, just literally like a part of me. And this is what she's talking about. And that was very scary to me. And I do in some ways still feel like that. I feel like it's a part of me. I've been dealing with it for a while. And this is a feeling I've had. And I guess according to the wise woman tradition. It is a part of me. Struggling to be rid of the pain and impairment, we paradoxically struggle against our own wholeness, our own variety and vulnerability, our own perfection in the moment as holographic expressions of the whole. Allowing ourselves to find the ally in our problem and accepting the ally's gifts, we validate our own health, wholeness, holiness, and nourish ourselves in compassionate transformation. We turn heart-centered in the moving spiral of wholeness. We come to see suffering as resistance and denial. So more and more, we open ourselves, we accept ourselves, and we are filled with joy. What a way to be not cured. So again, probably would have just thrown this book across the room and been like, oh no, I think I might be getting a migraine, y'all. That's not good. That is not good, but anyway. Working like every other day this week, which doesn't really give me much time to rest. So I would have thrown the book across the floor again. But on a level, I agree. I agree with her. I agree this is a really good way to look at chronic illnesses and things that the doctors can't help us with, the herbalists can't help us with, the healers can't help us with. You know, like we find some relief, but I mean, you know, and sometimes it's really difficult when you go to a doctor and they look at you like you're nuts, or they're like, I can't help you, or you go to a couple doctors and you get the same reaction. You're like, well, I really hurt. And I think a lot of people in this country, they're dealing with that, with all the chronic pain and the opioid crisis. I think they're really dealing with this issue. But you know, when you can't maybe cure or think about it as getting cured, you do start to want to look past and see, like, what's going on? Is there an underlying issue? I had a customer come into work, and she's been having like throat issues, and I can't remember what the exact issue was, and it just didn't go away for months and months. And she's tried multiple things, like I guess it's a sore throat or just and she's like, well, maybe I need to look at, maybe I need to get my cards read, you know, maybe like something's going on with my, you know, my throat chakra. So after a while, you do start thinking about, and maybe there is something going on with her throat chakra. And maybe that is going to be helpful. I mean, she, you know, you need to do multiple things a lot of times, and they all combined into something that's helpful. You know, when people say there's no like one magic pill, and it's true, there isn't. Even if you take a pill, you want to do other things. You're gonna still want to do like the yoga and the herbs and the other stuff, and a whole combination of things. And I think people don't even realize, like, not only is there not one pill that people can take as a cure-all, but there's, when you have like a health issue, problem, concern, I don't like those words I was using, but anyway, when you're faced with some sort of health need, there is many things that you have to do. And I was trying to also impart this to a customer who isn't another customer who wasn't listening to me, and I was like, well, this is good, but you may also need to do this and this. And they're like, oh no, I just want this. This is great. I'm fine. And I'm like, well, from what you're telling me, I really feel like it's gonna take more. I need to dig really deep into this. And she's like, no. So sometimes, you know, but like I said, tangent, ramble warning going on. I just can't help it. Susun Weed like brings up all these things that I just have to say. So, but yes. So that ends. There are no cures in the wise from tradition. I'm gonna go on to this short section. There are no rules in the wise from tradition, which is on page 33. Which is a short paragraph. The only rule in the wise from tradition is that there are no rules. Allowing the unjudging flow of compassion in a wise woman way, we are challenged to remember that the perfect wholeness of each moment is ever changing. There can be no rules. Loving ourselves unconditionally with a wise woman, roughness, and compassion, we are challenged to acknowledge the unique perfection of each pain. There can be no rules. Looking at the both and hologram with wise woman vision, we are challenged to increase the clarity and the brilliance of the whole by nourishing the web and each of its unique parts. There can be no rules. In a both/and universe, there can be no rules. Anytime you think this is exactly the same as before, you're wrong, says the wise woman tradition. Rules make comfortable, secure boxes to hide behind when normalcy stretches its limits and the unexpected occurs. Rules are safe. Rules are not elastic. Rules are visible. Rules are acceptable. Rules are regular. Rules are logical. All rules are made to be broken, says the wise woman tradition. So I really like this, and I think a lot of people have had the experience where I just don't fit in the box they're putting me. My doctor is putting me in. And I think that's what she's speaking to. And I probably don't need to ask if anyone's had this experience, and but I will. So yeah. Has anyone had this experience of you know, feeling like they've been put in a box, feeling like they don't fit in a box? What do you think about rules in general and in regard to healthcare? Hey, Cedar. Hello. Liz, hi. Just went to grab a cup of coffee. I'm not catching many lives this week, but thought to pop in and say hi. Oh, welcome. Yeah, I took a live break just because of work and everything else. Recently, I haven't been watching as many. Well, it's you and me. So stay as long as you like. And yeah, I haven't read this section, so I mean beforehand. So I'm just going on a ramble right now. I caught a Tangerines live last night after work, which is really great because I get off really late. And rambles are great. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so that was really nice. You know, when you get off at like 11 at night. And other than that, I haven't really been catching them. So, I hope you're doing well. What kind of tea did you get? If I'm oh, coffee. You got coffee. Okay. So, but it is good to have a break from this crazy YouTube-ness. So, yeah. All right, so we're just gonna go on. The morning drink, totally. I agree. I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but I do drink some every morning. So I drink, you know, about a half a cup to sometimes a whole cup, and then sometimes I drink it throughout the day. But my partner will drink the whole pot. So I kind of like reserve my 1 cup of coffee, and then he gets the rest. But anyway, so he doesn't drink it. He can drink it all. I mean, he'll make me a new pot, but which is really sweet. Like, oh, I can always make you a new pot. Yes, I'm sorry, kitty. Got a kitty down here. Yours too. Oh, what's up, kitty? You okay? Oh, he's petting you. Cute kitty. All right. But I still like to reserve my cup, and because I eat breakfast a lot later than he does. So alrighty. So we're gonna go on to there are no healers in the wise woman tradition, which is 33 and 34, page 33 and 34. It's kind of a long section. But for everyone, why me? Think about as I read, why might not there be any actual healers in the wise woman tradition? I mean, she's gonna give it away as soon as I start reading. So, but and then maybe like, what is a healer? When you think about the term healer, like, what do you think about? Like, what qualities is a healer? Can be health, can be brain, can be any kind of healer. But like you're like, oh, that's a healer. Like, what do you think? So, all right. We are all healers in the wise woman tradition. Self-healing, self-loving, we co-create healing with our allies. Our allies are our problems. They bring us gifts of wholeness. Our allies are wise women. They support us in our transformation. Our allies are green allies, wild plants. They supply us with optimal nourishment. The wise woman tradition asks us to ally ourselves with our pains and problems, to see their gifts, honor them, and listen to them, and to nourish compassionately all aspects of ourselves. The wise woman tradition sees everyone as a potential wise woman, as a wise woman in disguise. I often feel like that, especially at work. So I work in the supplement department of health food store, and some people are not expecting me to bring, to be helpful. They're like, oh, you're a young kid, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I actually am like 41. I've been through some stuff. Okay, we're not going to say that. And it's nice to be able to actually help them. Yes, I'll be 42 in October. Don't tell. Yes, I'm still getting the looks of the young boys. I don't know. Anyway, I look really young. It's not my fault. It's genetics. But anyway, but it's but I feel like I've got all this info and knowledge inside here, but it isn't always like show on the outside. So good advertising. And so yeah, that's how I feel incognito. But it's nice. It's nice to think about how everyone has some. Oop, I'm shaking the thing. Nice to have it. Okay. Nice to know how. Nice thought that everyone has some knowledge to impart to everyone. We listen for resonance. We seek ones who can magnify our tone for us, guide us, support us in the vulnerability and chaos of our expansion. We seek the wise woman who encourages not return to balance or normalcy, but transformation and refinement. We seek the ones who nourish us through the incorporation, not the remission of the problem. We go to visit the healer. There is ritual and respect. The healer is welcomed as a visitor to our homeland. We lodge at the healer's home as are treated as honored guests. I got 4 hours of sleep, y'all. Woo. I may take a nap. I should take a nap. Just thought of something. Yesterday I helped with some house cleaning and my lymph nodes are swollen this morning. I did taste paint all day. Fevers. Yeah. Definitely worth a try. Tincture, if you can get a hold of it. Swollen lymph. Oh wait, this other book has it in here. I believe it's got it by body systems. Of course, you could just look up cleavers. I didn't have it in there. Cleavers. Dried annual parts, fresh. Well, it's anti-inflammatory. Cleaver is a very valuable plant and is perhaps the best tonic to the lymphatic system available. As a lymphatic tonic with alternative and diuretic action, so it may make you pee. Okay, I'll get some good old-fashioned nutritious food as well. Yeah, lots of water, definitely. Sounds like a. You think it's like an allergic reaction from the paint? Maybe there wasn't enough ventilation going on. Let's see. So it may be used in a wide range of problems where the lymphatic system is involved. Thus, it would be used in swollen lymph glands, anywhere in the body, and especially in the tonsils and the and in it's not adrenal trouble. It is widely used in skin conditions, especially in the dry varieties, such as psoriasis. Anyway, so long-term use of cleavers in the ulcers and tumors. For lymphatic system, it will work well with pokeroot, echinacea, marigold. So you can add echinacea to that. It's not giving me, yes, here it is. Here's the dose. Tincture, take 2 to 4 milliliters of the tincture 3 times a day. And, oh, you can do a tea, but I'm assuming you might have more access to tincture. But the infusion, pour a cup of boiling water into 2 to 3 teaspoons of the dried herb and infuse for 10 to 15 minutes. This should be drank 3 times a day. So this is the book I'm getting this out of. The New Holistic Herbal by David Hoffman, and it is page 191. So yeah, so I would take the echinacea in high doses. So hold on 1 second. I will be right back. I'll get the dosage. Cool. I mean, one of these days, all this information is going to be in one place for me. Okay, Kitty. I'm going to be right back. Yeah. Okay, I started, yeah, I started making a book, but, let's see, so in the indications in this book that I made from Herb School, it doesn't say anything about lymph, but it's probably, it says it in the other book, so inflammation, so that's good, because you probably have some inflammation. Muscle pain due to overexertion, general inflammation. Okay, so high dosage, 60 drops of tincture an hour, or 1 cup of tea every 2 hours. So most people take too little, and so it's not very effective. And it also gives a capsule, but so yeah, that would be the echinacea dosage, 60 drops of tinctures an hour. Probably for, you know, a little bit, see how you feel. And stuff. Ooh, Conjurer's Table is going live. So cool. Yes, awesome. So cleavers and echinacea. You're already on the right track. Almost 12. Just grab my copy of Healing Wise. Yay! You can read along. She's also going to have if you love this book, she's going to have a new book coming out. I don't know if you were here not last week, but the week before, because we didn't have it last week. So, where I spoke about don't feel okay. Yeah. Well, I do want to finish this section. Usually we go, you know, an hour and a half. So, I don't, but we're just gonna go a little longer. you know, yeah, I do want to finish this bit. But anyway, so if you like Healing Wise, she's gonna have this new book coming out in October, and I got an advance copy, and I'm reading it, and it's awesome. And I will be doing a review of sorts. So yeah, it's so great. Anyway, but yeah, I'll be talking more about that, and it may be a book club book at some point. Okay, cool. So I am on page 34, and we are 1, 2, 3. We're on the 4th paragraph. So, and I hope you feel better. You know, I hope that all those herbs help, and everything. So, and rest and nutritious food, yes, and water. Wholeness is accepted, says the wise woman tradition, not created. We are precious gifts to each other, for together we are part of the whole universe. Let us love ourselves gloriously and heal each other. Let us see health, wholeness, holiness in ourselves and each other. Let us fall in love again and again. Let our hearts beat and our breath flow at one with the universal pulse. Grief, joy, grief, joy, grief, joy. Having no goals, resonate with truth, beauty, joy, and wholeness. The wise woman does nothing. She is still, sensitive, alert. Like a dolphin, she sends out sonar waves to test the frequency of wholeness. She opens herself to the hologram of this unique being at this time, in this place. Can you believe the bookmark is at page 34? Oh shit! So you were right there. That's great. Having no rules to teach, no morals to preach, the wise woman is silent. She is full in her silence. She is empty in her silence. Her expression is quite clear. She's in love. Her strength is quite visible. She does not reach out. The best helping hand is often the one that touches not. Energy is visible around the wise woman. Sparks and flashes caught in the corner of the eye. Look deeply into her eyes. Feel the energy coil and shift. There is allowance, attunement, acceptance, agreement. Barriers are lifted. Wholeness is revealed. Blessing the wise woman. Blessing ourselves. We are part. Savoring the taste of truth-telling, knowing that we empower ourselves, accepting the gifts of the wise woman, we continue our self-healing journey. There are no rules in the wise woman way. There are no cures in the wise woman way. There are no healers in the wise woman way. There are the questions of transformation. What is the health / wholeness / holiness here? How is it nourished? So that that ends those sections. And then next week we're gonna pick up on 35, optimal nourishment, and that actually is a couple pages long. It's a big section for us, which hopefully I'll be able to read and have some more focused questions for everybody, and then we'll maybe cover some nettles, which is going to be our plant, since we finished with violet. Beautiful. Haven't opened the books in months. Thanks for bringing me back to it. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I have had this book for years, and I mean, I've spoken about this before. I mean, this book is well. I actually have a new copy, but I actually have a new copy. But this old copy is marked up, so I'm still like reading out of it. But this is one of my first herbal books that I ever got, and I have no idea why I got it. I have no idea. I don't remember like why I picked it up, what drew me to it, and I wasn't. I mean, this is before like I had a lot of health issues that I was dealing with. It was like kind of minor stuff, but you know, like not major stuff, and I really couldn't even get through it, like because her writing is super dense, and I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about, because it just didn't have anything in my experience. But now I can understand her, and I do understand what she's talking about because I've had all of these health experiences. So, and then I think that was one of the reasons why I decided to start the book club with this book, because I really wanted to. It's one of the first herb books I got. Yeah, I think so. And I just wanted to. I thought that would be appropriate. And it's also really dense because it has. It's talking about healing. And that's really what, you know, I want to focus on the herbs as well, but, you know, more so have also a discussion on like healing and, you know, how to look at health. I think it's very important in our society. Yes, healing. Yes, totally. So, and on that note, if you have any suggestions for a book, I want to kind of intersperse a book with healing wise, since we've, you know, we're not going to finish it anytime soon. And I thought that would be nice to have sort of another book where we could switch off and have like a break from this one. And the only reason we're reading at such a slow pace and I'm reading it out loud and you don't need the book is because of my schedule. But also, like, I think that everyone else is really busy, so, you know, it gives it's less pressure. Like, you can show up and you can still participate and you're not going to miss anything. So anyway, but yeah, if you know of any book that talks about health and healing, oh, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure as well. And yeah, leave it in the comments, or yeah, because I really would like suggestions. Anyone out there watching the replay again? So let me know. If not, I will pick one. But if anyone has any suggestions, that would be, you know, maybe we can vote if there's more choices. So I want to like include everyone. I don't want to just be picking the books. So you know, it could be like Chinese traditional medicine. It could be Ayurvedic. It could be all these other theories of healing. It doesn't have to just be Western herbal. All right, so yes, I do have to go because I have to rest. I'm super tired, didn't get too much sleep, but I hope you have a good day. I hope everyone out there watching the replay has a good day, and I will be back next week, Thursday, 11 a.m. So we'll pick up where we left off. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Liz, and yeah. So me and little Horace down here, my cat. We'll say goodbye. Bye.